everyone, it's Giang Biscan from sable.com, a website to empower startup entrepreneurs. I have today with me Steve Block and Mark Roberts, who are angel investors from Tech Coast Angels. So what is Tech Coast Angels?
Okay. Sure. Tech Coast Angels, which was formed in 1997, is the largest angel investing group in California. We've invested in everything from software to hardware to medical devices to media, even in consumer products.
We're spread out among 5 different chapters. They range from San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles, the Inland Empire, and Santa Barbara, Westlake. In total, it's somewhere between 250 and 300 members.
TCA has a website on which entrepreneurs can submit deals for review and screening. And there's an application form that the entrepreneurs fill out, and we evaluate every deal. And as long as a deal is not so far out or so early that it can't be funded by anybody, we would generally give it a pre-screen.
There's a handful of generic mistakes that are typically seen. Obviously, if an entrepreneur doesn't really know their numbers, like they're putting up financial statements, but if you ask 1 or 2 questions about the financials, it's kind of clear that the presenter themselves, typically the CEO, really didn't spend a lot of time putting those numbers together. It was actually someone else that put that together. Being very, too confident in your knowledge of the space such that you appear to be uncoachable, that's a very big no-no. It tends to turn a lot of investors off pretty quickly because they feel like, hey, if I'm going to be putting my money into this, I want to know that you are also open to learning from my past mistakes, and it really is the wisdom of the crowds that can kick in and help get you through a lot of the hurdles, as well as the Rolodexes of the people that are putting the money in.
Hi, my name is Matthias, and I am the founder of a company called ShareSquare. We are a Founder Institute graduate, and we are focused on bringing mobile web to print promotions. Here's an example on our killer use case. Let's say you see a concert poster walking down the street, kind of like that. It's a point of passion, especially if you like the band or the artist. Right now, there's no way to be actionable. There's no way to purchase right on this poster until you use something called ShareSquare, which is a very special type of QR code that you can use your mobile phone and any barcode scanning application to take you to a mobile landing page where you can do a number of things. You can play a music video to engage with that artist. You can get email marketing permission to get information from that artist, and you can one-click post to Facebook and Twitter, and very soon you will also be able to transact right here on that poster. We are currently looking for $500K in convertible debt. We'll be looking to do around next month, and we'll be at the Founder Showcase. We're getting a number of different people doing pilot programs, and you can also make on our self-serve platform at getsharesquare.com exactly what I'm talking about. And we're looking to become the largest partner and the largest vendor of this sort of technology domestically. And we are in negotiations with MySpace Music to become a promotional partner for it, as they'd be the largest scale partner for artists and promotions worldwide.
Are these barcode scanning applications readily available for mobile phones? I mean, they're not built into mobile phones.
Red Laser, the most popular barcode scanning application, just got bought by eBay, and it's just great validation for us. They have the highest install base on iPhone, about 3 million, and they're being leveraged into a number of other apps by eBay. Google loves barcode scanning stuff, especially QR codes, and the rumor is that on a very soon upcoming version of Android, there will be a native barcode scanning application.
But even today in the United States, roughly 70% of every one of the phones that are purchased are not a smartphone. So they can make calls, obviously, and they can generally do text messaging, but they don't have the smartphone capabilities to download apps. Have you thought about how to bring those people into the fold as well? Like, could you put a additional thing like text a certain code or a certain word to a short 5 or 6 digit X number.
One of the best practices that we are incorporating for these campaigns is that there is a short URL which corresponds to that particular code right underneath it. So for those people who don't scan it, they can actually type it in, just like Bitly. It's about that long. But in addition to another data point, smartphone sales are on the rise, and we're reaching an inflection point where by December, smartphone units will actually eclipse feature phones, regular phones, for the first time.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to get a little bit more information. Like you said that you are looking to raise 500,000. What are you planning to do with that? Like, what milestones is it going to get you to? Why can't you raise, a tenth of that or a fifth of that? Like how have you mapped all that out?
But it's mostly for product development, the ShareSquare analytics platform on the back end, and building out the elements that we don't currently have so that we can ramp very, very quickly and design it for rapid adoption on the front end. Because we have an opportunity, I think, in the next couple months to reach out to 4 million artists nationwide via MySpace Music.
I think your manner, your style, your calmness, and your confidence come through, but at the same time you also come through as being very coachable.
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Joey. I'm the CEO of a company called Earbits. We're building an online radio platform similar to Pandora, but using it to create an AdWords-style advertising engine for music, where artists can bid per song to have their music played on the online radio platform and buy airtime packages to promote live performances, to sell MP3s and things like that. So as an artist, imagine that instead of standing in front of the club, handing out flyers that cost you 5 to 10 cents to print and hoping that that person goes back to their computer and listens to your music, for 2 cents you can have your song play on our online radio platform and have a streaming message going across the homepage during that time, pictures of your band and things like that. But for the listener, it will seem very much like Pandora, but without ads or commercials, because that's not our model.
I have a question. How do you have numbers on the listener side of the equation that basically kind of prove out that you can get a significant number of listeners that are really early adopters of all this new music, and what percentage of their time do they seek out the new music compared to like the rest of the stuff when they just want to turn off the brain and kind of go listen to other things?
So really what we're trying to do is, instead of focusing on the people who do go and actively try to find new music and click on this band and listen to a sample and click on this band, we're actually leveraging online radio where people can kind of tune out, but when they hear something they really like, they'll turn, look at their screen and say, wow, who's that? But people do notice who's playing, and they do use it for music discovery. But unfortunately, because of the business model, most of the online radio platforms don't focus on independent artists, and you still can't get airplay there. The marketing strategy is to go to sites that already have a lot of content about music, articles, show reviews, album reviews and things like that, and then essentially build for them their own radio platform. So, site xyz.com launches XYZ Radio. People click on that. It looks like it's their own product, but when it pops up in a small window, while it's branded to look like the site they just came from, we're actually powering it, and we're selling the airtime in that channel to bands who want to be on that website in addition to our own.
I got to tell you, Joey, I think your presentation was wonderful. I think it was clear, it was understandable. You stayed right within that minute and a half. It's clear to me you've either practiced it or you read it, and I don't think you read it. So you got a lot of the features in that you need to get in. I mean, it was very impressive. What I don't want to hear is long explanations, complicated technology discussions. I want simplicity. Anything that's not simple is what I don't want to hear.
So this one from Nancy Shedd, who said, does Angels invest in companies that are currently in business and producing revenue?
That's an easy one. Of course we do. The only issue there becomes one of the valuation that the entrepreneur expects. We like to invest in companies where we can get a valuation, a reasonable piece of the company. We certainly don't want to be controlling, but we'd like to get to 20, 25, 30% of the company for a valuation of anywhere less than, say, $4 million.
I really appreciate all the support, and in particular, once again, I really appreciate Tech Angels for the support for this partnership and Vokle. And thank you, Mark and Steve, for doing this. You guys have been fantastic, amazing insights.
Yeah, it's an entrepreneurial world, and we need more entrepreneurs. new businesses are what's going to drive the economy in the future. So this is very, very important.